Hey there, welcome to this video on the metronome. This is getting more and more in depth on the metronome. So in this video, we're going to talk about how to use subdivisions with this. We talked a little bit about this in the first one. Here we have 72 beats per minute. Yes, boom, here and here. So what we talked about was to be able to actually really effectively place this by saying here and here and here and here, or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So with this and, what we're ultimately doing is playing eighth notes against a quarter note. This is a quarter note, and our words are eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's how this is going. Now, so that's eighth notes. It's excellent to be able to do that, and whenever you can, whenever you get ready to, then you would bump your scales up to where then I suggest maybe what, 120, something like that. As you bump your scales up, or whatever it is that you're doing, with quarter notes where you're playing once with each note on here, so this would be da, 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 and so on. Whatever it is that you're doing, hammer-ons, pull-offs, exercises of any sorts, arpeggios, that you just bump it up, speed it up until you get somewhere around 120. And once you get this fast, split it back in half, go back down to 60. And then start doing every other beat. 1 and 2 and 3. It's the same, 60 and 120 are the same if you're playing eighth notes versus quarter notes. So quarter notes at 120 are the same as eighth notes at 60. It's the exact same tempo. But now what you're doing is you're actually using your mind, your inner sense of rhythm, to actually keep it steady by only hearing half as many. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. In the exact same way, as you get quicker and quicker at that with whatever you're doing, you could just also clap this in your practice. Once you get up to around 120 with that, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and split it again down to 60. And then we have 16th notes, which is what we've done now. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a is how I'm actually counting that. A lot of people count them this way. Some people count them other ways. That's the way I learned to count it. That's the way I teach people to count it. 1 E and a. 2 E and a is the way to say that. And then so then you would put those in. Now we've got 16th notes against the quarter note metronome. This is a quarter note. 16th notes would be 4 notes per click. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Notice I'm not saying 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a da 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 da, like a sewing machine. Bup, 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 bup. You want it very precise, very clean whenever you're doing rhythm stuff. There's no room for that wishy-washy. If you want to do that as an effect later, you can do that, but you need to have a really solid, articulate way to actually count these so that if you need to play in an articulate way, that you can do that. If you want to play very crisply, you can do that. Also, it will allow you to know when you're not doing that in your playing and you're messing up the rhythms. The next one, well, actually one of them, one really common rhythm is a 16th and an 8th and a 16th. 1 E, a 2 E, a 3 E, a 4 E, a 1 E. And when you're doing it with this, what very commonly happens is that they start to congeal into triplets. Da 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 da, and it becomes triplets instead of a really articulate 16th note rhythm. In the same way, triplets, which we'll talk about in 2 seconds, can become this 16th rhythm, da 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 da. So being able to really clearly articulate your 16th notes, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, will be able to actually let you place those instead of guessing where they are. Next up is triplets. So with triplets, we're here at 60 again. 3 notes per click here. Triplet, 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 triplet. So you can count just triplets like that, or you can count 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Notice, I clap these. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is completely even. Now, the tendency of people is to go, which is the rhythm we were just talking about, right? It's the 16th note. It's hard to do it and talk at the same time. Evidently, I can't do it. So you want to be able to, when you're getting your triplets, to really bop, 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 bop. You're placing each one, and it's very even. Now, what the metronomes can do, and it's an add-on on this one you have to pay extra for, is actually give you that, so that you can actually then have it playing eighth notes against your quarter and do all this kind of stuff. I don't necessarily think that you need that unless you're really not doing this right. Now, if you are just have it at a steady beat and you're doing this yourself, it's nice to be able to check it and to be able to double check, but you don't want to get reliant on it. You ultimately want to be able to count eighths, sixteenths, and triplets, and to be able to freely go between, such as this. 1 and 2 and triplet, triplet, 1 E and a 2 E and a triplet, triplet, 1 and 2 and triplet, triplet, 1 E and a 2 E and a triplet, triplet. Something like that. You could do four beats per subdivision, anything like that. You can also do 5, 6s, 7s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bop, 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 da, 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 da. Again, it's got to be very precise and land correctly. Or 6 tuplets, which is triplet, 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 would be that. So you can start playing with all these different subdivisions with a steady beat on the metronome. So that's subdivisions on the metronome. Super helpful for your playing and just your ability to do that. And to count out loud, I will say again, it's very important that you count out loud. If you think you're counting in your head, you're lying to yourself. I know it's the harsh truth, but it's true. Unless you can actually make it come out of your mouth, you can't really do it. You think that you are, but you're really not. You have to be able to bring it up from your depths, from the depths of your lungs, and say 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 triplet. These different, be able to actually do it with your body from inside yourself, instead of this, I'm just clapping and I think I've got it right, so great and good for me. It's not going to happen. You have to be able to say it. That's just the way it is. All right, moving on to the next video. In the next video, we're going to talk about even more advanced ways of using the metronome and ways to mess with yourself with your metronome to make it to where you're even better rhythmically, to where you're more of a rhythmic dynamo. See you there.